Before we go any further, if you care about building real soil, not just growing plants, make sure you subscribe to Evergreen Garden YT because this channel is about gardening that actually works long term. Now let's get straight into it, because one of the most misunderstood processes in gardening is how fallen leaves turn into humus and how long that transformation truly takes. Most gardeners throw leaves into a pile, wait a few months, and expect rich humus. That almost never happens. What we tracked over time tells a very different story, and understanding it will completely change how you handle leaf litter in your garden. Leaves do not become humus quickly, and here is the real timeline. Fresh leaves are mostly carbon, especially dry leaves, and carbon breaks down slowly. When leaves first fall, they are not compost and they are not humus, they are raw organic material. In the first 3 to 6 months, leaves mostly break down physically, meaning they soften, collapse, and darken, but they are still recognizable as leaves. At this stage, fungi begin colonizing them, especially in moist conditions, and bacteria slowly follow. Between 6 months and 1 year, the leaves lose their structure. If moisture is consistent and nitrogen is present, they start turning into leaf mold. Leaf mold is not humus yet. It is partially decomposed material that improves soil structure, but does not have the stable, long-lasting properties of humus. True humus formation begins much later. In our tracking, leaves required anywhere from 18 months to 3 years to become genuine humus, depending on conditions. In cooler climates or dry environments, it can take even longer. Humus is stable, dark, crumbly, and no longer resembles leaves at all. It binds nutrients, improves cation exchange capacity, and feeds soil life slowly over many years. The biggest factor controlling speed is nitrogen balance. Leaves alone have a carbon to nitrogen ratio of roughly 60 to 1 to 80 to 1. Soil microbes prefer a ratio closer to 25 to 1 to 30 to 1. Without added nitrogen, microbes work slowly and tie up nitrogen from the soil, which is why plants near fresh leaf mulch sometimes look pale. Gardeners who add nitrogen-rich materials see dramatically faster breakdown. For example, mixing leaves with fresh grass clippings at a ratio of 3 parts leaves to 1 part grass by volume speeds decomposition significantly. Another effective approach is adding aged manure at roughly 1 shovel of manure for every 4 shovels of leaves. Even diluted urine, applied at about 1 litre per 10 litres of water, can jumpstart microbial activity when poured over a leaf pile. Moisture also matters. Leaves kept consistently damp, not soaking wet, break down far faster than dry piles. Turning the pile once every 2 to 3 months introduces oxygen, which further accelerates the process. Humus is not just decomposed leaves. It is the result of complex microbial byproducts. Fungi break down linear bacteria, digest simpler compounds, protozoa and nematodes feed on those microbes, and what remains are stable organic complexes that resist further decay. This is why humus lasts for years in soil. This process cannot be rushed beyond a certain point. Even under ideal conditions, humification takes time. Heat-driven composting may destroy leaves quickly, but it often produces compost rather than true humus. Cooler, fungal-dominated decomposition, like what you get from slow leaf piles or forest-style mulching, actually produces better humus in the long run. Now, if your goal is to get fast compost, you'll want to shred your leaves and mix them with something nitrogen-rich. Shredded leaves, by the way, break down almost twice as quickly as whole leaves. If your goal is humus, it's best to slow down a bit. Pile whole or just lightly shredded leaves in a shaded spot, keep them moist and let the fungi do their work. Try to avoid frequent turning after those first few months. For your garden beds, a really practical approach is layering. Apply a layer of leaves, about 5 to 8 centimeters. Each autumn, water them well, and then just lightly top with compost or soil. By the next growing season, you'll find that the bottom layer is partially decomposed, and by year 2, you'll start to see humus forming right where the roots need it. In vegetable gardens, though, it's wise to wait at least 6 months before planting heavy feeders into beds mulched with fresh leaves, unless, of course, you supplement with a bit of nitrogen. For fruit trees and shrubs, leaf mulching can be done immediately because woody plants tolerate slower nitrogen cycling better. Humus improves water retention without causing waterlogging. Just to put it into perspective, a 1% increase in soil organic matter can hold tens of thousands of litres of water per hectare. It also buffers pH, reduces nutrient leaching, and, well, it feeds plants steadily rather than in spikes. Leaves turned into humus are honestly one of the cheapest and most powerful soil amendments available to gardeners. What we observed over time is that gardens that consistently return leaves to the soil really do outperform those that rely only on fertilizers. Plants tend to grow deeper roots, soils resist compaction, and pest pressure often decreases, thanks to stronger plant health. Leaves are not waste. They are slow, powerful builders of soil wealth. If you understand the timeline and work with biology instead of fighting it, you can turn what most people throw away into the foundation of a resilient, productive garden. If this guide helped you see leaf litter differently, subscribe to Evergreen Garden YT for more deep, practical gardening knowledge. Share this with a fellow gardener who still bags their leaves, and keep building soil that gets better every single year.